Ooh, COVID-19 just destroyed your spring break plans, didn't it? You were gonna go on a trip and now you cannot, but don't worry. You can still have a lot of fun with your family. In this video right here, I'm gonna share with you some of the best family board games that you wanna get ordered to your house toot sweet before they're gone like all the toilet paper. Stick around for this video because this is one you don't wanna miss right now. Well, I hope you're happy and healthy out there, everybody. My name is PJ from the Awareness Module, where we are bridging the gaps between life and education. On this channel, I discuss how to influence young minds so that they can find success not just in their classrooms, but ultimately in their lives. If that sounds appealing to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to check the bell so you get all of the updates. So let's get into some amazing family games that in a time like this where we are having to isolate at home, this is the perfect time to take advantage of some of these games. Let's get to it. I'm going to break this video into two simple sections here. The first section is games on my left-hand side, or simple card games that are very quick and easy to play, and you're probably going to want to play round after round after round of them until you are bored with them, but they are fantastic, pretty inexpensive games. On the right-hand side, I've got more in-depth, sort of traditional board games that are a little bit more hefty. They take a little bit longer to play, and there's a lot more involved in them, but they are also fantastic games that you definitely want to have on the shelf, and they'll allow you to spend a little bit more time and get into a little bit more depth. So without further ado, let's start here on the left. One of my favorite games of all time is Sleeping Queens. Now, most kids I know how to play this game. I think a kindergarten kid can learn this game. This is a fantastic game for families, and I really truly believe that this game needs to be in absolutely everyone's household. It's a really simple card game. It's got fantastic art, and the principles are actually quite simple. You're basically trying to get a hold of these really, oh, this one's upside down. Some really great drawn queens. And these queens, as you can see on the top there, they all have like a number value on the top. And so all the queens are worth a certain amount of points. And you're basically trying to wake up these queens to get the most amount of points playing various cards. There's a lot of math in this game. Well, not a lot of math in the game, but there is some math in the game that allows you to collect more cards as you're going through. And it's got great art. It's simple. Most people can pick it up. I actually just used this game before spring break started with some new kids who had never played it before, and they had a blast. So make sure you check out Sleeping Queens. It's definitely one to pick up. A new one that I've just bought, also from Game Right, like Sleeping Queens, is this game called Trash Pandas. This is a really nice and fun game. I was really impressed with it. And it adds a little different mechanic to a traditional card game. There's a push your luck sort of mechanic where you're rolling dice, and if you roll the same thing twice, your turn ends. So you kind of need to know when to stop. It's kind of like Pass the Pigs a little bit, if anyone's familiar with that. You have to know when to stop so that you can get the most amount of cards. And basically what you're doing is you are raccoons and you're stashing treats in your raccoon stash, and that's how you score points, is by what you stash. So it's an interesting mechanic because you're stashing things to get points, but you also have to have things in your hand because the cards in your hand that you can stash, you can also play those cards, and it allows you to kind of get special abilities and powers and things like this. And they're kind of funny cards. This one is a Yum Yum, which is basically like a candy bar, and they've all got these kind of funny names to them. A Blammo is like a pop can. Wait for the focus there. Yeah, there you go. You can get fish, right? So I guess it's taken from the point of view as like you're an animal, and so you kind of name these things yourself. So it's kind of fun game. I played this also, the last day before spring break. Most of the kids weren't really doing much. We were just playing games, and I introduced this game just because I just got it. I just introduced it to a class, and holy smokes, they absolutely loved it. They were lining up to play with it. So Trash Pandas is another great game if you've got kids in your house. Now, a game that I loved last year, I went to, in Seattle, they had a game and comic convention there. I think it's called Emerald City, and they showed me this game there called Go Nuts for Doughnuts. And wow, this game is super fun. It's kind of like bidding, like you're at an auction and you're auctioning off certain donuts, and everyone's bidding on the donuts that they want, but you don't know what everyone else is bidding on. And if two people bid on the same donut, nobody gets that donut. So it's a really great game for trying to think about what other people want and then not vote for that thing. Or make them think that you want something so that they won't vote for it, and then you can vote for it. So it's like a great mind game. It's great for mathematics too as well, like there's numbers and counting and scoring points. It's just it's an amazing game. It's kind of different, and you know, I've been overly impressed with it. I really think it was the best game that I had played over the last couple of years. So go nuts for donuts. This is a good time to mention that I'm going to leave links to all these games in the show descriptions here, so you're welcome to pick them up off Amazon and get them delivered to your house, because you don't want to go outside right now. Well, you could, but take a lot of Purell with you. Last game, and this one is pretty tattered here, but this is a game most people know, Monopoly, but this is the card version of Monopoly. This game is fantastic if you've got a couple of kids that are a little bit older, and it's exactly like traditional Monopoly. The only difference is you're just using cards, and it is way faster to play. Instead of spending hours and hours and hours where kids just kind of get bored after a while, it's about a 15-minute game. So you could play probably 2 or 3 rounds of this and you're satisfied because you've actually completed a couple of games as opposed to traditional Monopoly. So, and this is cheap. I think you could find this for like $10 or something like that. Like this one here I bought was $10. So you can find this game pretty cheap. And again, I think this is a game that most households really need to have in this day and age. I know a lot of people have like, you know, Clue and Monopoly and sort of these traditional old school games, Battleship, stuff like that. There's too many really great games for a decent price right now that, you know, these are some of them that I really think you should pick up. Here's another great game. It's called Hive. This is a great 2-player game, so good bonding with your kids, playing a little mano a mano. And basically how the game works is you are either the black team, which is all black tiles, or you're the white team, which is all white tiles. You're insects, and you're trying to invade the hive of your opponent, and you're trying to surround their queen bee, and all of the insects move in various ways, very similar to chess. The only difference is the board is constantly shifting and moving because you're building pieces off of the pieces that are already there, and you're building a hive, hence the name Hive. And it comes with this like really great carrying case, and I really like the tiles because you know, it's just tactile and they're a little heavy. It's got a nicer feel to it. It is a pretty expensive game, but definitely a game worth keeping in a cabin if you're going on road trips with your kids. Great game to have on file despite its cost. So those are some of the really quick card games that I love, and I think pretty much everyone should have because they're inexpensive. Now I'm going to jump into some games that are a little bit more expensive, but they are keepers. They are absolutely fantastic games for a time like this. The first one I'm going to talk about is, this one took me a while to track down. It's an amazing game called Jamaica. Now, I've never been to Jamaica, but I would like to go one day. This game is amazing. The artwork is fantastic. The way the play structure is fantastic. It's a traditional sort of race around the board kind of game. So you're racing to be the first one to complete it. But the difference is you're actually rolling dice, and then everyone at the table is going to get to play on those dice using cards that they have. And you can use the dice in different ways depending on what card you play will allow you to use the dice in different ways. So it adds a little bit more of an interesting mechanic to a traditional racing game. And let me tell you, it is a lot of fun, and there's some like battling in it. So if your two ships land on the same spot together, you have to roll dice and try and battle each other, and you can take stuff from the other person's ship. So it's just a fun, it's exciting game, and it really is a nice spin on a traditional racing around the board game. Jamaica is like the Cadillac of racing games, I think. The art is fantastic, the playability is fantastic. It's a lot of family fun, so I would definitely check out Jamaica. Another one that I reviewed here on this channel not too long ago, and I said that this is an absolutely amazing cooperative family game, and it's called Flashpoint. This game is awesome. You're firefighters, you know, maybe you're not paramedics, you know, it's not like what's that game, Pandemic or anything like that. That would be more fitting right now. But this game right here, Flashpoint, I think is awesome. You're firefighters running into a house, trying to save people as the building's burning down. It's just a super fun family game, and the fact that it's cooperative is very, very nice. The fact that you're all working together as a family to save people from a burning building. This is, you know, I think this is an absolutely fantastic family game. Great thing to do when you're locked in at night. You know, and some people are still going out while the weather's nice. It's sunny here in Vancouver, so, you know, go for a bike ride, and then you're trying to figure out what to do in the evening time. A game like Flashpoint would be a lot of family fun for you, for sure. Another game I'm going to show you here, just a couple left. This one here is called Junk Art. This is a take on Jenga. Most families have Jenga in their household. This is Jenga 2.0. This is a far more interesting version of a Jenga type game. But instead of trying to take blocks off, what you're trying to do is constantly add blocks, and there's a lot of different ways to play this. The premise of the game is you are sculptors. You're artistic sculptors and you're traveling around the world, and each place you travel to has a different challenge for you that you have to accomplish using these various colored pieces. And basically what you're doing on most of the levels is you're trying to construct a tower without it falling down, but you don't have a whole lot of control over the pieces you get to use. Other players against you and other people are dictating what you have to work with, and it's just a lot of fun. I took this, was it last year, maybe the year before, to my niece's place in Edmonton, and I brought this with, and we had an absolute blast just building really cool structures, and the tension around like, oh, that looks like it's gonna fall, and then to place the piece just perfectly on top, and just it creates a lot of excitement. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great variation to Jenga, which, you know, gets pretty mind-numbing after a while. But check out Junk Art. It's actually relatively easy to find, and it's not that expensive too as well. I found this one on Craigslist. A guy had a couple copies of it, so I picked it up. And then another one that I've reviewed here on this channel, King of Tokyo. This is a must-have for every family. This thing has won so many awards. It's a fantastic monster battle game. So your monsters battling each other, trying to get possession over Tokyo, and it is a last person standing game. So you're trying to be the last monster standing or the first monster to get 20 stars or 20 points. It is a really fun dice rolling game. If you have Yahtzee in your house, this is a way cooler version of Yahtzee. Similar mechanics, you're rolling dice, then the dice equal certain things. You can get powers for your monster, so you could build special powers in your monster that give you an advantage. It's a lot of fun. It's very simple. Young kids can play it as long as they understand the basic concept of what the dice do. Where you would probably need to help most kids is reading the cards, because every time you buy a new power, there's text on it, and it's not very self-explanatory. So you just need someone at the table who can read very well and can understand what they've read. But this game is a must. I was doing a workshop on using games in a childcare setting, and one of the workshops I did, they loved it so much they actually changed the whole format of their after-school program just to focus around games. And this is one of the games that started the whole thing, is King of Tokyo. Kids were literally signing up to these programs just so that they could play this game. It is a must-have. Like I said, won so many awards. It's a must-have to have in your family. Get it shipped to you tomorrow, and you're gonna start having a lot of fun, even though you are in total isolation right now. So there you go, there you have it. A bunch of fantastic games that I highly suggest you taking a look at. Don't take my word for it. There's lots of reviews of these games here on YouTube. Fish around a little bit and see if you can find one of these games that appeals to you, that you want in your household. I promise you, it is money well spent, and it will last you for years to come. So thanks for watching, everybody. My name is PJ. Once again, thanks for tuning into the awareness module. I've got some other videos. Where am I gonna put them? Over here, I guess. I got a couple other videos here that you could look at if you are looking for more content. It's an interesting time, everybody. It's a great time for us to bond together as a family, and I promise you that games are one of the absolute best ways to do it, because there's so much learning involved, and there's so many great social dynamics that come from playing these games. So make sure you check them out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.